somebody that needs clothes. Remember, S&K has clothes that need a body.
Hurry to S&K.
It's on Park
Center,
and
5058 Park Avenue.
What's on Park?
It's easy to offer the lowest prices if you don't have to prove it. Cisco prices are the lowest. Nobody but nobody can beat our rate. We're showing new ones in the clients, RCA TVs, VCRs, or
Ron Film right
the
now?
best little deals in town
What's
on
that?
RCA
Ron Film.
Shop around.
Yeah?
Get a price. Then come and make
Yes,
Well, small. You don't get the Camry. Yeah.
Want me to bring Robin here?
What's that?
No, we don't want her in this. Or no, we don't want her to mess this up.
Hey, Bob.
Don't get her in here, she'd mess it up.
Bob.
Well, there's Cavaliers, pickups, Nova, celebrities, ST, and the whole band.
Well, we got her on the door. Now you just got to get her to come out.
Hey, Bob.
February 22. And
Come here. Be on the
Hey, Lulu. Lulu. Get over here, Lulu.
Okay. Do I sit down?
Yeah.
But, golly, well.
Oh, you don't hand
Why
the
are you
camera.
worse than you? Well, now you're supposed to know
Did he
it's
go
here.
get those films? Did he go get those films?
Yeah. It's gone to get it from my there. Well, you can at least smile, dear.
Okay, this is just a test.
Now, how can, so what happens then? Is it?
Can I turn it back on? Oh, you got it.
No, we got to get everybody in here. Oh, we don't.
I gotta have one more stab at. Oh, grab my purse and give it to me, please.
Go on down here and get it. What's the matter with you?
Oh, you weren't fine, Matt.
Yeah, she was.
Well, we got to get everybody in here now. Get your granny away from those dishes.
Still in there on the
You're on
dishes.
film. Right now.
All right.
Still there on the dishes.
Now we hear the clanking of dishes in the kitchen. Mike, look at Mike's feet. Come on, we gotta get everybody's so shy. This is so much fun.
Come on in. Have a seat in that man.
I don't know
Sit
what
down
you're doing.
someplace.
Oh, this is good.
There we go.
Never want to see him dressed up.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Come on in there, Granny.
Talk too loud, though.
Mom
Are
learned
they,
the last one.
are they almost done in there?
Antler, you
She
calm.
went to the
Where are we
bathroom.
gonna put Granny? Where are we gonna put her?
I'd put her over there, that chair, put her over here, and where we want
Granny,
it,
what's
where we
going
want
on
it.
here, hon? Somebody else call her. I found them.
Well, she can't hear you the way you're
Did you hear
talking,
me
no.
yell your name last time?
I'm trying not to talk.
Come on in there, Granny, they're
What?
waiting on you.
I said, Mom.
Oh, there's Loretta. Are you done? You done in there, Loretta? Come on.
You don't like to sit down someplace.
Why, eavesdrop?
Huh?
Never mind.
You're not a kid.
Get ready.
Well, she's going to the bathroom. I'll get her.
Is she going to the
You're on
bathroom now?
film.
Bless her heart.
You do that shit. I'll have her in here in a few
It
minutes.
takes a few minutes for everybody to get over being shy.
We cannot even get
Granny has to
ready.
go to the bathroom.
We
She'll
can't
be
even
in
get
here.
her in here,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
she'll be back in a few minutes, and I'll give her that dress.
Now we have to decide where she's gonna sit.
Well, she can sit over here, or she can sit
Because
over
what I'm
there.
gonna do,
Either one.
What I'm gonna do is set the film like this. I'm gonna sit next to her and we're all gonna talk to her.
Can I say hi to my friends?
Yeah, you're sitting there, well, go and say the word.
Hi, Amy. Hi, Aaron. They're going to be watching this.
Michael, you gonna come in here?
Mike, get in here, huh?
Come on in here. Pull
Watch
up
it, Sarah.
Come on in, bring a chair. I think
Are you kidding?
Put the chair in here.
Well, I guess they will. I guess they will.
you guess who will.
My friends.
Her friends, I said, I guess they will. It's because Monty's sitting on the couch right now, honey.
There we go.
Sunny boy, over there.
Trying to study boys in the bathroom. This tape is going to be viewed by numerous people. I'd rather it would.
Well, we got a view of everybody here, so we know Know who all the audience is.
Back in.
Hey, you always had that, but you have looking at you. Your voice is on tape also. No,
Yeah.
you didn't know that.
Sure. Everybody ain't said that. I wish.
I don't mind. I wouldn't mind it if, you know, if I look better than I think I do.
I can invite all my friends over to view this.
I never minded too
Well,
much
I
if I had
had
hair.
hair.
They want my hair. Oh, she's doing it now. Huh?
See, you always know when I'm doing it because the little red light will be flashing.
Yeah.
So that's the dead. It's not like I can
Can't
be.
someone frown?
I can't be
Yeah.
too sneaky about it. I can't even be sneaky about it. Right, Panky?
Yeah.
You're the ham anyway, right?
Yeah, you're the ham, all right.
Yeah.
We don't need to worry about him. Mike, I think he's
You're the
gonna.
ham, you
That
like this. I think they're flashing for the longest. I agree, you're supposed to look at the red light. Okay. You're nervous.
Over there, Granny, sit down over there. You want to hear by yourself?
We want some good ones. Plenty of grannies.
Okay, now we know where Granny's gonna sit. Okay.
Granny, smile.
Just like her sister. Just like her sister.
No, you smile now. Honey, it's similar to me right now.
All right.
Look, it's gonna be on the film. Turn down.
Okay. Now,
You don't
we
want-
look at any pictures yet? So you want to look at some pictures? Hmm?
Yes,
You guess so? Okay. Well, these look familiar, don't they? That's her kind of handwriting.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of them down the country now. You meet them? Yeah, she got a bunch of them out in the country.
Yeah. Well, she wrote lots of
Whole
letters
bunch
to you,
of 'em.
huh? So, I'll show you my family first, okay? There's Justin.
He's a little 11-year-old boy.
Yeah, he's going to be 11 next week.
He's a little boy.
Yeah.
Thick hair. You got thick hair too. What?
And that's Christina.
Christina.
She's going to be 16 in May.
16 in May.
Mm-hmm. And there's Christina again. And that's Justin. And me. You know me. There's Christina and Nicole.
Is that the other little stepchild, or is it?
No, these are my 3 children. I don't have any. I don't have any pictures of my
Yeah.
stepchildren. I
Oh,
didn't bring them. I should
Oh,
have.
I see. Oh, that's yours, though.
Yeah, these are the-
You
these are
just
the-
got one little girl then?
No, I got 2 little girls.
Two little girls.
Well, they're not that little. This one's 16.
Oh.
16.
And this one is 13.
Oh,
That's
you got
Nikki.
2 girls.
Yeah, 2 girls and 1 boy.
Uh-huh.
This is Christine.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Christine.
Christine, and this is you, huh?
That's right.
And this is Christine, 16.
Yeah. And here's Justin again paddling in his canoe. We have a pond right next to us.
You do, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And here's Justin again.
Justin, yeah.
Now here's my mother. This is my mother.
This is your mother, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I seem like it's I've seen your mother.
Mhm.
Did I?
Yeah, we see
Yes,
her.
of course, you saw
Yeah.
her. You saw her mother, Mama.
Yeah. She's of course a little younger then, wasn't she?
Mhm. Well, she was about
Yeah, back in the 60s.
15 years younger. Yeah.
Yeah.
More than, yeah. When did you come? Do you remember what year you came to visit Meade?
1960s.
65 or 66.
No, that's 67.
67, 60, wasn't it?
I don't think it was because your daddy died in 65 and we went the next year over there, up there. Don't you see?
65, well, it was 66 then.
Uh-huh.
Leaving 66.
It right after we moved over here, wasn't it?
Yeah. No.
It was the summer after we moved over here in the spring.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
It was 66, that's when it
I'm
was.
probably 66.
Mhm.
We went up when we were up there.
Okay, so that was 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
That's when you saw her.
We seen your mother and your
She
father.
lives in New Paltz. She lives New Paltz, very close to where I live.
She lives pretty close to you then.
Yeah,
huh?
she just had some open heart surgery in October. Yeah, yeah, she stayed with us until, I don't know, she stayed with us for a month or so, and she did real well. And she's living on her own again.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah. I have a niece that had open heart surgery. Wasn't it open heart surgery?
No, she had coronary bypass. That's
Yeah,
not the
that's
same
what it
thing,
was,
is it?
yeah.
That's not the coronary bypass.
Right, now this wasn't, she had a valve put in.
Oh,
An
well, I don't think.
aortic valve.
Uh-huh.
Well, now, we didn't see you when we were up there.
She
No.
was going to college.
Yeah,
No,
see-
she was away.
Yeah, you went to
Yeah.
Staten Island, and where I live is about 100 miles north of there.
Now,
So-
no,
Well, you wasn't married then, or if you were,
No, you weren't.
Yeah, well, we weren't talking about me being married at the time.
Well, he said he didn't see you. He did see you when we was up there, you know.
Yeah,
And,
right. Well, in '66,
66.
I must have just been back into college, and
They said you were at college, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your mother said you were.
right. Well, they weren't talking. They didn't want me to be married to this guy with the 7 children. They weren't. My mother and father were not happy about it. So they probably, if you came up in '66, they probably, you know, weren't talking about me being married, even though at the time I
No,
was.
they were.
No, we didn't
They
hear
said
it.
something about you were at college.
But you
That's what
told
they
us,
said.
that when you married, I believe was you told me that you wrote it, you know,
Mhm.
of course, that you was marrying a man with children
Mhm.
that your parents didn't like for you.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, they weren't at all happy.
No, they wasn't
No.
happy.
No, indeed. So this is Justin, and these are the Catskill Mountains. These are where I live. I live right just at the foot of, you know,
Yeah.
the Catskill Mountains. They're very pretty up there.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's beautiful up there.
Yeah.
But you see the blue sky up there a lot, don't you?
Yeah,
That's pretty. Yeah.
it's very pretty.
Very pretty.
It's very pretty.
Here, and you could see the blue sky. Yeah, no, out
Well, you must have blue sky around here.
Hey, here too, when it's.
Really? Does it rain a lot?
No, but we just have a lot.
No, it
We have a lot
doesn't.
of small and stuff, especially in Memphis. I don't know about here, Jonesboro. Well, yeah, we have quite a bit of it around
You know,
here.
so you might want to,
small today.
Lisa, you might want to
Isn't it, Mike?
get up and do your photography stint here now.
Have you-
So you just try walk, you know, anytime anybody talks or they're ready to be on camera, you can just.
Oh, really? Okay.
Now everybody will be quiet, right? No.
Yeah, don't want to say a word.
You just move it around and we'll get people sitting mum. Okay, there's my mom again.
You look skin too, dear. Good little girl, you get mom and pop.
Come on,
And
Patty.
there's my daughter Christina.
You know what taught you in there?
She loves horses.
Oh.
And there she is again.
Take after her great grandma.
That's right. Let me see. That's her great grandma, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And there she is on her horse again. And there she is again.
You enjoying doing that, Lisa?
He says she's
Mhm.
16.
Yeah, she'll be 16 in a
Who you got on, Lisa?
You gonna
Now, there's my
get
mother
back
again.
at me, huh? Every time I laugh at you, you're gonna point it at me. I won't have to laugh at you very much then. You're gonna be that way.
That's my sister's boyfriend. And that's my sister's daughter.
It is?
Her name is Jeanette.
You don't think it would... How old is she?
She's
We don't know.
18.
Call me just
18.
what they do.
Just old enough to start out and...
Yep, she's on.
I'm a camera
person, I'd tell you to be quiet.
And
Just for
there's
that, you ought
my
to zoom
sister
in on
Elga.
Your real big old close up.
Elga.
Oh, well.
And her
The one
boyfriend.
that I call Mary.
That's right, yeah.
I don't
Yep.
know why.
I don't know why you didn't
I
say,
don't
but
know
she
why
told
I
me
don't
Mary.
remember.
And
Well, Mary's certainly a lot easier to remember than Elga.
Yeah, I
I
think
can't
so.
pronounce the name. I can't pronounce Elga. Elga.
Elga, yeah. It's Norwegian. As a matter of fact, when we were in Norway this summer, there's a little village by the name of Elga. And it's the name of the village, and I wanted to go there just to get, you know, but I can see it on the map anyway.
You have some relatives up there, don't you?
Yeah, I have some relatives, but I don't know where they are. I wasn't able to track them down. And that's the woman whose house I share. This is not a good picture. It's dark.
She plays the guitar.
Yeah. Yeah, she plays the guitar too. And there's Jeanette again.
Jeanette again, yeah.
Yeah. And there's my sister's other daughter, Helena.
Helena?
And that's my daughter, Nikki.
Yeah. Nikki.
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 Yeah. And there's Jeanette again with her boyfriend Chris. And there's Jeanette and Chris and my sister. Here's a whole bunch of them. That's my sister, and that's her son Andre. So she's got 3 children also. It's Andre, Helena, and Jeanette. So those are your great nieces and nephew. There's my son Justin and my sister Elga. Now Nikki, here's Nikki, she's an actress.
She is.
Yeah, so here she is on stage.
Well, yeah. Well,
Now that comes through Aunt Minnie's
how old
side.
do you say she is?
She's 13.
That acting ability.
And Christina's the horsewoman, and here she is jumping over a big jump with her horse Tico.
Yeah, pretty good leap, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a pretty good leap. It's a nice shot of her. Now here's my mother on a horse. And that's something, huh? We got her up on the horse. We figured it'd be better to take a lot of pictures of that.
Was she scared?
Yeah, she was scared. She said, "Get me down. This is the stupidest thing I've ever done. Get me down."
Get me
She says, "All right, I'm up here. This is dumb. I don't know why I did this. Let me get down."
Oh,
I bet that horse had moved, she'd probably fainted right there. Had a heart attack.
About how she felt. I rode once the horse that, and I just rather be down on the ground.
I'm sort of with you there, Granny.
So here's Nikki or Nicole. Now here's the man I married. He's the man with the 7 children.
Oh, yeah.
And that picture was taken 13 years ago.
Yeah.
He just turned 60.
Oh, now, what nationality is he?
He's Italian. He's Italian.
That sounds like an Italian name.
Yeah, he's Italian.
How do you pronounce it correctly?
Peony.
Peony.
Right.
Well, I didn't miss it far, I don't guess. I mean, I tried to say it similar to that.
Yeah.
What's he doing there? Cooking?
Yeah, he's cooking. He's cooking on his little charcoal stove. And here's Nikki again.
Yeah.
She's
She's very cute. What's that up there? Is that just the leaves?
yeah,
That there?
she's a bit exotic and dramatic at times, a little bit like your sister. And she took a bunch of leaves into the house. We had cut the branches because it kept getting in the way of the car. So she took them in the house and planted them so that she could have a little greenery in the house for a while.
Well, clear. I'll see.
And then here's Justin.
Yeah. Is she younger there?
Yeah, that was a couple years ago. Yeah, that was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, a little bit younger.
And here's Nikki again.
She's very active, isn't she?
Yeah. Yeah, she's quite a gymnast as well.
Has she got light hair?
Yes.
Well, that Norwegian.
Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
You have the German, Norwegian stock.
Yeah.
And all my kids have blue eyes, and they were very blonde when they were little.
Yeah, well, that's,
There's Justin again.
Boy.
And this is Christina.
Hey, you.
well, Lisa likes to turn that around.
Yes, she's having fun.
Have fun, Lisa.
Yeah, she's quite the
We not got your puss in there, though.
Yeah, do her next. That's my brother.
That's your brother?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't believe we saw him, did we?
We didn't
No.
see him.
No, he was, let me see,
No.
20 years ago. 20 years ago. No telling where he was. He's probably out gallivanting or something. I don't know where he was then. There's Christina on her horse again.
Yeah, horse.
And this is Joan. This is the woman whose house I share. And there's another picture of Nikki.
Yeah.
And Nikki again. And Joan. And Justin. And here's my, what happened to my little picture? Oh, I guess it must be in there. There's Justin again. I have a real nice picture of Justin, shows how blonde he was. Where, oh, it must be, oh, here's a whole stack more. Now here are the older ones. Oh, there's my brother Eric again, too. Okay, now there's my father.
Is your father?
Yep, that's
Oh,
my
that-
father.
How many children's in your family?
3.
Just 3.
My sister, Elga.
And you,
Eric.
and the,
Eric.
and your, Eric, and
Right.
your brother.
That's
See,
right.
3. 2 girls and a boy.
Yep. There's my father and my sister.
Now that picture of your father, where is he? Is one of them children you?
Yeah, that's,
Uh,
oh, no.
the-
No, that's my sister, and that's my brother.
And that's your brother.
This is my sister and my brother.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Her brother, Mama.
That's your brother. But you wasn't there.
Nope, I didn't exist yet.
Uh-huh.
And there's my sister. And this is the mountain that's behind us. It's called Mohonk. And here's my father. That's my father there. I got a better picture of him. Now here's your sister. No, I don't have many good pictures of her because she wouldn't smile for me. Every time I said, "Smile, Grandma," she'd say, "Don't have anything to smile about." And then she'd grim up a little bit more.
Yeah,
So I haven't got any pictures of her smiling.
Oh, yeah.
So that's about,
There's a resemblance of you two there,
yeah.
Mom.
Oh, yeah, me?
I said there's a resemblance.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you can see it. Now here's a picture of her when she was younger. She used to babysit for this child, I believe.
Well,
Yeah. She's still got that solemn face, hasn't she?
Yeah.
I'll show the face up.
Here's my father.
Yeah.
I want to see that, see if I can remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah,
I don't
remember now.
I
Yeah,
can't
good, I
remember.
seen that picture.
Yeah, we can pass these pictures around here, Michael.
Yeah.
Michael, why don't
I
you start
recognize
looking
him
at
right there right away whenever you.
Yeah. There's my father and my mother and my brother and me.
Yeah. How old was you?
Well, probably that was about 7 in that picture.
7 in that
Mhm.
picture. Uh-huh.
And there's my son Justin. I just stuck him in there. See that blonde hair?
Yeah.
Fluffy blonde hair.
Yeah.
And here's another picture. This is Meade and my father and my father's father.
You say that's you,
No, that's Meade.
Meade.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I see. And your father.
This is my father right here.
And this is who?
My father. Zeke. Yeah?
And that's the man,
That's the man. That's Antonson.
that's his heirs of.
We've never seen,
I never seen a picture of them.
No?
And she married.
Yeah. Oh, there he is. That's the Norwegian sailor.
That's a Norwegian sailor. And your dad wore long hair during those years. I guess
Well-
the babies, little ones did it.
I don't know whether all little ones did. She did. I mean, she didn't cut his hair. She kind of put a lot of girls' clothing on him and tried to keep him away from the boys. Yeah,
Why?
I told you she kind of overprotected him. She was
Oh.
afraid that he was going to get hurt playing with those rough boys. So she kept him away from the rough boys. She was so afraid of losing him that she
I know you said that she was overprotective,
Yeah.
but I had no idea that she was to that extent.
he hated it. He hated being so coddled and protected. That's what made him go the other way with us.
Well, went to the extreme the other way.
Yeah, right. Both of them went to extremes.
Yeah.
So finally, eventually, the state got hold of him and made him cut his hair and go to school. She kept him out of school. She taught him how to read. He was 7 or 8 years old before the state finally figured out where he was and made him go to school.
Somebody must have told on him.
Yeah. Somebody did. Yeah, apparently somebody did.
Yes, somebody did.
So,
Don't.
she doesn't want.
Don't allow blemishes.
She's afraid of it getting damaged.
Now that must have been way back then. She wrote that.
Yeah. Now that's my father and mother.
You know, I can't remember what either one of them looked like. That's been so long ago.
Now here's a picture. I don't know whether you're going to be able to see it. You'll have to tilt it just right. But that's your sister and Zeke.
There. Well. Right there.
And here's a couple more of Grandma.
Yeah. And that's her too.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
one back in 1940.
And here's my father. I think this is his high school picture.
Yeah, and he was young.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a picture. She only had the one child, huh?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So you're so when you talked to, what was it? Who was it? Your dad?
What?
Who was it? Your dad that went to the fortune teller? Why don't you tell me
Yeah,
that
your
story again? What happened? Your dad went to the fortune teller and
He told my
You
dad,
can
how
tighten
she
it up,
did, I
Lisa.
think it was a black woman, if I remember right, told my dad that she was alive, married, and had one son. She's just doing fine.
uh-huh. So did you believe him?
Not to worry.
Why is it not tight?
Well, no, at the old fortune, another old fortune teller that we got, his name was Marger. He said over the radio, we heard him announce that he
I
would
guess it's
allow
tight.
for $1, 3
Why don't
questions. He'd answer 3 questions for $1. And so we just put in one as, would we ever see Meade again?
Uh-huh.
And he said, yes, you will see Meade again.
Uh-huh.
I said, well, he lied.
You didn't believe him, huh?
I didn't think that could ever happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then another was, question was we ever was going to rent a new house on that place over there that we had a little section of land there. I took self-receipt for, now that's my husband that I'm talking about that had to answer these questions. And he said, you will put a house over there. He didn't say it'd be a new house. Well, it come to pass that the little old log, well, it wasn't a log house either, it was a little old, just a plain little building, just a room and a kitchen. On the place just a few steps from where we lived, on the same place, but on just a few steps up to the north of us. He tore that down to his satisfaction and moved over there on that place and put up a little house for a rent house.
Mm-hmm.
And the other, what was it, Loretta?
I don't know. I don't know, Mama.
The other. There was 3. But I just don't remember.
I don't
what the other
remember what they
was.
were.
I don't remember what the other was.
So you thought you didn't see Meade after she went to, I don't know,
When she left home, when she was a young woman, you know, and when she left.
Mm-hmm. She was growing.
You said she went to Colorado first, didn't you? Up around that
Well,
area someplace?
in a way, she's a roundabout way. She went to Memphis, and worked there a while. And I think she went to Indiana, and she went to state of Washington, and then she went to Colorado.
Oh, that'd be back in the state of Washington, Mama.
Well,
Back down this way.
and then she went to Colorado though.
Uh-huh. Then she went to
She
California.
has some pictures.
Did you say she was
And then she
17
went
when
to
she left?
California.
I think Granny said she was 17 when she left.
How old was she, well, how old was she when she left?
I think she must have been about 20,
You think she-
21 or...
You mean when she really left?
I think she was a grown woman when
Well, you
she
don't
left.
hardly know because you were
I
so
couldn't
young.
say for sure because I wasn't over 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't have been any more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's before your mother died.
Yeah.
She died when you was 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So it had to be before that.
It had to be. I know that. I remember seeing her meeting Jim and baking cookies and eating them, and they was laughing and having a good time eating their cookies.
Mm-hmm. So you have that, you remember that, that's one of your
And
memories.
then there's another time I remember, that was before that I knew she was going anywhere. But I remember the time that she was ready to go and she had a hat on and a veil over, that had to come down about this far. You know, that's what they wore them days in this dress, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And she was kind of brushing her shoes off, you know. She just got ready to go.
Mm-hmm. How did you feel about her leaving?
I just don't know how I felt. I just couldn't say. I just seen her go, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know my feelings because, you know, it was a year or two before my mother died, you know. And I just remember of her going. That's just all I remember of it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know where she was going.
Yeah,
I
you
just
didn't
she
know
getting
that was
away.
going to be the last time you'd see
I didn't know it
her.
was going to be the last time. No, I didn't know
For
it.
65 years.
Yeah, I didn't know. Didn't have any idea it'd be that way.
Wow.
But that was when she took off to Memphis, I believe. And then she just drifted around, you know. You'd hear her. She got letters. She'd hear it, and next letter she'd be somewhere else, you know.
She was a traveler, huh? That's one of her stories she writes. She says Medea was a wanderer. She called herself a wanderer.
Yeah.
Let me get this camera a little closer so that we can get your voice, to make sure that we get your voice. One here.
Yeah, could have gotten a real good smile out of it.
Yeah, right. Yes, indeed. So, you know what I'm curious about? Meade told me lots of stories about how she was real close to her dad.
Yeah, that's what she said in her letters. Yeah.
And that she didn't get along well with her mother at all.
No, she said in her letter that Mother always shoved Bertie out of nest. She thought Mother had shoved her out of her home.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Well, she was almost 20 years old. I guess it was about time for Bertie to fly anyway, huh?
Might have been. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, what kind of man was your father, Granny?
I think they had some difficulty to kind of
Oh, that's what I meant.
cross a little bit, you know,
Mm-hmm.
here and there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Go ahead, and then I want to say something.
Go
to her.
ahead, go
Well, you
ahead.
go on.
well, I said all I need to say.
What kind of man was your father? Could you describe him for us?
Gentle, quiet man.
Mm-hmm.
He was a wonderful man, from what my
Yeah.
mom told me.
He was wonderful daddy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have much money, but I had lots of love, you know.
Mm-hmm.
my mother gave me a lot of love. I don't know now. Maybe was a person that she was kind of strong-headed.
Mhm.
And I think that's where her and my mother got into it a lot. Sometimes, you know, she's determined to do her way.
Mhm.
And Grandma probably had that strong nature too, you
Who?
see. Grandma, your mother.
Yeah, and she had a nature too that she
And
wanted her
they
way.
probably didn't, you know,
Yeah.
they crossed, I
Mhm.
imagine.
Yeah.
Don't you imagine?
Yeah. Sounds like it could have
Uh-huh.
quite possibly happened if they're both two headstrong people.
But
Yeah.
Granddad was real easy going
Mhm.
Yeah.
and a wonderful sort of person. So Mama said that's what she grew up with, you know, with him, you know. They, huh?
She said he used to go out in the woods too and gather herbs. Herbs. Isn't that right, Granny? To treat, you know, your sicknesses with. He gathered a lot of herbs.
Did your father gather a lot of herbs and things?
Do what, herbs?
Gather herbs.
Oh, yeah, he believed in a lot of herbs. He said he had erysipelas. It was on his hand, I believe it was. And he went out and got some old buckeye. I don't know now what part of that buckeye stalk that he used, but he stewed it and made a tea and made that hand in that he knew, he said it was erysipelas, and his hand was swollen, you know. And it got, well, it got all right.
What?
And he would take the bark off of a slippery elm tree, the rough bark, and then there's a tender bark under that rough bark. That tender bark there, it was good for lots of things. If you put it, if you had something in your eye, in other words, a little of that. It's kind of a, it has a sap, you know, a little of that sap would just work that out. I believe that's the way that was. Or maybe I got mixed up there. It's good now for something and I forgot what it is.
Slippery
Maybe
elm?
It was the,
Slippery elm, you mean?
yeah, slippery.
I eat lozenges. Slippery elm lozenges are good if you've got a sore throat.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
I think this was something else that you put in your eye. It was a seed of some kind.
Oh, yeah,
Not
that's
flaxseed, are you?
Flaxseed.
Well,
Flax,
yeah,
yeah.
so you forgot that. You
Yeah.
usually don't forget that now.
Yeah, I forgot that.
And that's what I said.
Flaxseed, that's what you use in your eye if there's something in your eye,
you
and
can
it
get
would work that
your
out.
aunt sometimes. Swing the camera a little bit if you like. I'll put her on the scene here. Don't want to move it around too much,
Get on
but
your job there, kid, will have to lay
And
you
he
off.
had his cough medicine. He would use whiskey
mhm.
and a sweet, some kind of rock candy
Mhm.
and mullein tea. Take the leaf of a mullein plant,
Mhm.
steep it, make tea, and put them all together. And that's
Uh-huh.
for a cough, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. She used to write me stories and tell me about a lot of these herbal remedies. But I didn't know she got them from her father. I don't know where she got them. Yeah.
She probably did.
Yeah. Well, but your family traveled around a lot, didn't they? You were born
They
in
moved
Yeah.
good many times, yeah.
Why don't you tell the story that you told of this man was here one day?
Oh, on the way down here to
Yeah.
Arkansas,
On the way
we
down to
come in a
Arkansas.
covered wagon, you know. I think there was 2 wagons. Well, I was about a year old, and I had yellow curly hair,
Red and gold.
blonde, almost red, I guess. And we stopped there in a place where there's Indians, you know. We put up there at our place. It just come time for us to stop all our travel and rest, you know, overnight. And so there was Indians there, and they found out that we was stopping there, and they wanted to trade a team of horses for me. And I didn't ever hear that story until a nephew of mine, nephew by marriage, it is, told that to his grandmother, Laura, you know.
Mhm.
And along in the years of 70 somewhere in that, I was up to her house, and Charlie told me about what his grandma told him about me, about the Indians wanting to swap my dad to kill him. I said, well, Laura never had told me that story. I never had heard it before, but I guess he told the truth. I knew he did, because he sure wouldn't have been making it up. That it wouldn't have gained
And
him
Grandma
anything.
sat up all night.
And she sat up all night to watch over me now.
That's
Oh,
okay.
she's afraid they might steal you,
Pretty
huh?
much kidnap her.
Yeah. Everything's still moving. We have an hour battery on there, but sometimes it gets run short at like 45 minutes or something like that. So.
Oh, that's a pretty good swapping a team of horse and a mule for.
Yeah, they can make another baby. What, you know, what's the big deal, you know?
Not of none. That was something, all right.
Yeah, that was something.
Now, I've seen
I
lots
thought
of
you-
Granny's hair, and it was red
Uh-huh.
gold, beautiful shade.
Gosh. So did you, it doesn't sound like, I mean, I try to figure out where you traveled. It sounds like you were born in Indiana.
She was. She was born in Indiana.
And then you traveled to, when you were traveling in this covered wagon, where did you end up?
Down in Arkansas.
Near Walnut Ridge?
Yeah.
And that's where you stayed?
I was closer to Sedgwick than it was to Walnut Ridge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
did you, is that the farm that he set up and that's the one you stayed on, or did you move again?
No, he died. Well, he didn't die there. He died in his sister's house over there in the Brown settlement on the road next going to Walnut Ridge.
But did you when they moved from Manon, Indiana, to to Sedgwick, is that where the farm is now? That's a different farm, huh? Different farm. Where was that farm that he settled on?
Well, it's kind of lost now.
Kind of lost, huh?
The road-
Development or something on top of
Yeah,
it?
the roads
Have changed.
have changed, and if set that farm back,
Mm-hmm.
then you wouldn't hardly know where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
Joe,
Where you
let
going?
y'all finish shooting, because I've got to get back and type up a resume for him for Monday morning.
A resume?
Yeah.
I thought you was going to say a divorce. I was going to say
Well-
get divorced before I make it.
I'm thinking about this. You know, this is the first that we've even been photographed together or anything. We didn't even
It
have
is.
any wedding pictures made. Right. Here, come here. What? Come here. Get down your knees. Oh.
Go down. She's got the camera on you.
Okay.
Smile. Smile pretty.
Anyway, got us together for change, and that's great.
Yeah, well this is great. This is good. We're going to make copies of this video for all you guys. So.
Appreciate that.
Great.
Show your pretty teeth, there,
Lisa.
So your pretty ones there, Panky.
Yeah, thank you. Come on.
Well, I did. Don't be pulling my hair.
That's not what you did.
Oh,
You pulling your hair?
Yeah, she's got one.
You see what you did. I mean, Lisa, have you put a wrench on her hair? Her hair looks, it's a little bit different. Oh, yes, Aunt Loretta, but she did that ages ago.
Well, what's it doing? Just wearing off? It was dark in there or something. It
Yeah, I
wasn't
know.
color.
I mean, her hair was dark.
What color was it
Well, it
before?
was getting awfully dark.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah, I know
But
it's darker
it's
than
pretty
that.
color. I mean, it's pretty color, of course.
she's having done, beauty
Got that
bar
pigtail
now.
hanging down back there.
Hey, can I get that on film? The
the what?
Gucci?
Oh, the Gucci. Yeah, let's get the film. The
Just
Gucci.
turn around.
What did you call that now?
That's called, believe it or not.
Can you see it there? Let me see. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, I can zoom in on it. Oh, this is
Okay,
great. There we go. Zooming in on. Oh, this is great. This is a really good shot.
Could make a comment.
Okay, we got your Gucci now. Turn around. Show us the other part, Lisa.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Right there, yeah.
Yeah, all the big fuss that was made out of that.
What do you call that thing?
Good.
A Gucci, honey.
What did you have both sides
Then
shaved?
she's
Just
got the
one.
The hair, but
Because
she
I
had
knew
the
she
hair
had a fit
shaved,
if I
or
had
just
done
it
it.
looked
Well,
like
she
it was
would have
shaved.
had a bit more fit.
Yeah.
You didn't
What
see
it
it
is.
either, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I meant for you to see it.
She'll see it.
There we go.
Bye, Amy. Bye, Aaron.
Okay, so you guys have got to leave now, huh?
Yeah, we do need to get back, because I have got to get all that information
I have to
together
buy
on
Amy's
him.
birthday present.
Oh,
Who a birthday present?
Amy.
a girlfriend.
That out. Are we on again?
Did you get your cake?
Did I get my cake?
Yeah.
Not yet. I don't know.
You probably starved to death then.
I'm gonna get some ice cream on the way home.
Ice cream.
You know that place?
Well, if you eat that cake, no need to stop and get some ice cream.
Yeah, there is.
Well, you got that ice cream too, haven't you?
What's going on? I'll wrap that up. What's going on?
Nothing. We're talking about ice cream.
Oh, well, you're being, oh, okay. What, do you, turn your face around, sweetheart.
They don't look at your back all the time. Turn your face around here where we can see you.
Listen here, turn and face the camera, sweetie. Face the camera. Look, so I want to always have this look.
Here we go. I can't even get in this picture myself.
Come on, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, there we are. So, well,
Lord, just think, 20 years from now, you can look back.
Oh,
on
no.
it.
I know it.
I don't want to look at it
That's
then. I'll
something
be...
like sure.
yeah,
That'd be
it's wonderful.
wonderful.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I'm gonna make a couple copies of it.
Wonderful. You look back on that 15, 20 years from now, and
Love you.
Yes, indeed. Okay. And we'll get back to our storytelling here. So let me see. I'm trying to remember. There was one story you told me. You don't have many memories of Meade. Just when the day she left, and then the time they were baking cookies, and then there was one other time I can't remember.
When she threw a spell on me and I fell out.
Oh yeah.
Now they had some words there,
Uh-huh.
but I don't know what they said.
Yeah. So your mom was upset, huh?
Yeah, she was upset. I know that. But I don't know what they said. I just too young. I don't know. I might not have been able to 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
But I know it was about me because I didn't like much hitting that axe, like a good axe or something on her.
Mm.
But, I just barely missed it. So that's just all I know about. And then her little corner in that she had all fixed up, for her medium. She could talk to the dead,
Mm-hmm.
First she said she did. She wouldn't let me in there only at times. She'd take me in there and let me look around. She had all different ways.
So what did everybody think of the fact that she talked to the dead?
Well, they got the word out that she could make a table walk.
Uh-huh.
And then after I grew up older, why, they want to know, could my sister me make a table walk? I said, well, I didn't know it if she could. I never see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they sound like they were kind of proud of her, huh?
Well, I don't know, I guess. They thought it was kind of funny or something. I don't know
Yeah.
what. They thought that if she could do that, she could do a lot,
Yeah. Were they scared of her?
Huh?
Were they scared of her?
No, I don't think there was.
Mm-hmm. You said your mom was a bit of a spiritualist, you think?
She was on that order.
Mm-hmm.
Not like me, that she was That woman's name was Miss Frost. I don't know what her first name was, Miss Frost. We'd learned that in the Indiana, she said. And now my mother had some power of that kind of some way, because one day I seen her with her back to the stove, and she was holding her hands up like that over a cup of water, and then fingers, as drops of water dripping from them fingers, and she turned around and showed me about it. And I told her about it, and she said, well, she might have dipped her hands down in that water, but I don't think so. I just don't believe she did. But, I don't say there's water in the cup either. I won't believe it's, I just don't say for sure that there was. I just guessed it was, you know. But I don't know really whether she had water in the cup or not, but I just figured she did have the cup in her hand.
I want to make sure this camera's closer because oops. So tell me about your brothers and your sisters.
You know, I really don't know. I've just about told you all I could tell you about any of my brothers, because they're small.
You were the youngest one of the bunch, huh?
I was the baby one, yeah.
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 But you say Hank was kind of angry or had a temper or something?
I never did know him to have a temper. Now, I didn't know that much about him, you know, because he was usually away from home at work. But he would come home, and he'd bring me a nice doll every Christmas. And he kept on getting better ones as I grew older. He'd get a better doll, you know, a nicer doll. And that's all I remember of him. I used to pick ground cherries. Do you know what they are?
Ground cherries? Oh, hickory nuts?
They're green.
They're hickory nuts?
No, they're soft. They're just kind of a soft, about as big as your thumb, green, just as green as grass, and they grow on a little old plant, not very high. I have not seen any of them in a long time, but there used to be lots of them around the place there, and I would pick them. I learned that he liked them, and he'd eat them with vinegar and salt and pepper. Yeah.
Oh, I never heard of them. Huh.
I remember that much about him.
And Jim, how old was Jim?
Jim?
Was he, what?
He was 57 when he died. He died of cancer. And leakage of the heart together, so I don't really know whether cancer killed him or whether, but because when he died, that blood just gushed out of his mouth against the wall, they said, and he laughed just before he did that. There was a neighbor man went to see him, and we knew real well, and he told us about him. He said something that tickled Jim. He was great to laugh, and he laughed right loud, and then that whatever it was just burst loose, and he just a big gush of blood out.
Oh my gosh.
He just bled death that way.
Did he die quickly, or?
Huh?
Did he die quickly?
Yes, he died just shortly after. Yeah.
Wow.
That was the last. So that leakage of the heart, I guess, he probably had that maybe a good while, and we didn't know it.
So was he older than Media or younger?
He was younger. He was. Let me see now. I believe Laura was first, and Hank was next, and then next, Henry, his name, and then Media. I believe she's the third child. I think she was. And then Harry, and then James. James, I will call him Jim. James Nelson.
I don't know. In your in Grandma's story, she's got a lot of people. There's Aletha Strong. Does that sound familiar?
Which
Aletha Strong.
Strong?
Yeah.
The name Strong is, I remember a Strong, but I don't know anything about him at all. But I remember hearing the word Strong. Somebody's name was Strong, you know, and I don't know a thing about him.
Yeah. And Ross. Do you know somebody named Ross? See, they might have been people from, she talked about the Tippecanoe. I guess that was up in Indiana, huh?
Could have been.
Yeah, that was when she was younger. That was before you were born, probably.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So what was your mother like?
My mother?
Yeah.
Well, I can't hardly tell you what my mother was like. She taught me to sew on the machine. She taught me to dry I commenced drying dishes pretty young, knives and forks and things that way. But I never washed any dishes until later on in life. But she was teaching me to do things like that. Let me see. And she was a woman that would go, if there's anyone sick, she's right there to help take care of them. If there's around where she could be all close, you know, where she could get there. I remember going to places where they was sick and where there was death, and I went to one place there where she took me where there was a baby died, and she had to wash and lay that baby out. She sent me out around the house to play, and she just didn't want me to see a baby dead, I guess, you know. But right then, I didn't know why. I just wondered why should I go around the house and play.
Yeah. So you were just 9 when she died, huh?
I wasn't quite 9 yet.
Yeah.
So she died in January, and my birthday's in March.
So that left you to be sort of on your own, huh?
Well, my dad took good care of me, but I done kind of as I please, you know.
You used to hang out with your friend down the street, huh?
And I knew what my dad, I tried to do as he would have me do, you know. He wouldn't set the rules, but I'd hear him talking about dances, and he didn't like dances. They fought there, and they used guns, and he said it was dangerous, and he didn't believe in them, and so I never attempted to go to any dances until I got older, and I went to going with my husband. He wasn't my husband, I was just a boyfriend at that time, and we went to what we thought was going to be a dance, and they didn't come, the people didn't come, and so we didn't get to see them dance. It's just country dance, you know. They just clear out a room, and then they all gather to dance and have music. That is part of time, part of their way of entertaining, you know. And other times it'd be a preacher come to the schoolhouse and preach. Well, we would go take in a sermon if we heard about it, you know, in time to get there. Just anybody could go and preach, you know. If there was a preacher.
So how old were you when you were going out with your husband? Or your boyfriend at the time? Did you marry?
I was 18.
18?
I was 18 when I was going with him but he commenced writing me letters. Long in the winter, and he moved down here from Tennessee. I'd heard about him. In fact, he come to buy some corn. We had raised some corn and could spare them some corn, and they hadn't moved enough corn with them to run them, so they come over to buy some corn. And he got to writing me letters and sending them about her sisters. She's a pretty good sized girl. I'm still going to school yet. At 18 now.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't used to have school in Arkansas here. It was, they just wasn't well off enough to have school very long, you know. And I never got to go. It was woody, woods, you know, and there was lots of cattle running free, as hogs and cattle and horses and goats. You're liable to run on to anything.
Mm-hmm.
The little kid didn't have much business out for themselves, and my brother Jim had already quit school. He quit school at the 5th grade, but he could read.
Mm-hmm.
He could read, and he thought he knew enough to be a detective. He sat and got some some literature and began to read. He was a really good reader and sensible enough to understand a whole lot of it. But I think it was too much for him to handle. He dropped it. You know?
He never got to be a detective.
No, he just fooled around and married. He began to raise a cotton crop though. And first thing I knew, he was getting married.
Well. So what was your husband's name?
Clark.
Clark?
Clark. Mm-hmm.
So that's Clark.
Yeah. Oh, we went together from that, well, from then on till the next November before we married.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know whether I wanted to marry or not. I wouldn't. He asked me to marry long in April, but I wouldn't say yes until I think it was June or July.
Uh-huh.
I just drug him along. I didn't know whether I wanted to give up my freedom or not. One woman, before I got married, she was talking to my sister-in-law that had married my brother. And she says, she knew pretty well that I was going to get married, I guess, because when she said this, it went in, sunk in on me. She said that a woman just as well, or a girl, she might have said a girl just as well stick her head under the fence. Somebody raised the fence and let it down on her neck. I thought, yeah, that's your view of
it. So after you got married, did it seem like that?
Well, I'll tell you, I had lots to do. I had lots of work to do. It's a hard-working family.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, he was, too. He was a very hard-working person. But he had low blood sugar, and I didn't know then what low blood sugar was. But that's how come my children to have low blood sugar.
Mm-hmm.
It was Loretta and Pauline had, and I think Karen has it, too.
Mm-hmm.
She don't try to take care of it, though.
Mm-hmm.
She don't really think she got low blood sugar, I don't guess.
Mm-hmm.
But we tell her, and her mother told her, and her brother told her. Her brother has it too.
Mm-hmm.
And he eats certain things, and certain things he don't eat, can't eat, can't afford to.
Yeah.
But Clark had it after I learned what the low blood sugar was. And Loretta knows it too, that he was very bad off with it. While he didn't get tired, he got tired, but still there was something to make him and go, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He had that drive power that he just went anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And he sat there in his chair one day and says, I come in to rest. He sat there about 5 minutes. But I told him I think he should rest. And first thing he got up, said, well, I guess I'll go. And I said, well, I thought you were going to rest. He says, I can't rest. Yeah.
He just get bored with resting, huh?
Yeah, he just couldn't rest, couldn't be still, I guess. And he looked down the road, and we had a man that we always called him the lazy man. We could see him sitting on his front porch with his feet up in the air on a little railing that went across the porch, you know. Clark says, I wish I was like Jack Shelley.
You too could be like Jack Shelley. If he wanted to, he could be like Jack Shelley.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Jack, he didn't let work bother him. Yeah. He made it all hard for his wife. She was a good woman. She had to just do the best she could do, and she worked here and worked there for people, you know, and they'd give her stuff to eat. And she had a friend woman. Her name was Grace Robert. Her husband drank. Well, this man drank too, a whole lot. Shelley did. So the two women, they kind of went together, and they'd work clean up each other's house, you know. They'd just help one house, and then they'd come over, and the woman would go over to Jewel's house and clean up her house. Jewel didn't have a car, but Grace did, and she'd come and get her, clean up her house. She'd come and help Jewel clean up her house. Jewel kept a clean house. Good, clean housekeeper. But she'd get Grace all as much as she could be, you know. She'd be up there. Grace finally moved to Walnut Ridge. And Jewel, well, Grace come down and get her, I guess, or sometime maybe Grace would get a ride with somebody and go up there to Grace. After she married, and the second time, her husband died, Jack died, and then she married another man, Fort, Mr. Fort.
Oh, is that the fort we just saw at the? We saw the name Fort at the cemetery. Is that the fort you're talking about?
That was. Well, the man was buried down there, all right. He was buried down there. It could have been his grave. Because, let me see now. There's a fort buried down there before he was. It's a woman. And I believe it was his mother. I'm not for sure now, just that it. But I seen the old woman one time. And it wasn't long till she was dead. Something happened to her. And then this fort is kin to her some way or other. It might have been his wife, his first wife. I can't believe it was. And he married Jewel later on, Jewel Shelley.
What was your father's first name?
Who?
Your father's first name.
My father?
Yeah.
Jacob.
Jacob, huh? That's a nice name. Yeah. I don't think I ever knew that before. Well, I must have known it somewhere. But I don't think I... How about your mom's name? What was your mother's name?
Melvina Catherine.
Melvina. I think I knew that. They used to call her Vine, right? They used to call her Vine, right?
Viney, yeah, I guess.
Vine?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah. And she was a Bocher. A Bocher. Bocher.
Buffer, yeah, Buffer.
Yeah. So the Depression years, during the Depression, I know Mike was talking about how you as farmers managed pretty, fairly well, rather better than the people in the city, because you had a nice little farm going there.
Yeah, Clark and I, we had all kinds of vegetables. He seen to it that we had plenty of vegetables. Yeah, corn, and he'd grow corn in the spring, he'd grow corn in the fall, and potatoes the same way.
2 crops, huh? Yeah, you can get 2 crops in here, huh?
These is to eat, roasting ears. It was roasting ears. Yeah. And we had plenty of tomatoes and had lots of cabbage, but it got to where in later years the cabbage took the wilt and it didn't do so good. I had plenty of beets and stuff of that kind. I had nice garden peas. I just love them things fresh, you know, fresh peas. English peas. You like them?
Oh, I love, fresh peas. My kids go out into the garden and they pick them right off the vine.
And eat them?
Yeah, eat them right there. I never get them into the pot.
You must have the kind Loretta says she can eat with low blood sugar, and eat them that way. You can eat them raw, I think, if you want to.
Yeah. Yeah, you can eat the skin and everything.
Yeah.
The whole pod.
Yeah.
The entire pod.
Yeah.
They're called, oh, no, I don't know what they're called.
Are you taking me down on that?
Yeah. Let me see, what is it? Well, the snow peas are the little ones, but there are kinds that you can eat the actual whole shell
They're
of them.
sugar peas, ain't they?
Sugar peas, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what they're called.
Well, that's what, she had some of them and she lost seed of them.
Mm-hmm.
She said she can eat them, but these others don't. She just don't like them much. They don't go too good with her. Low blood sugar.
Yeah. So you had animals too, huh? You had a few animals?
We had a few animals, yeah. And chickens. And one time he baled hay for people whenever our crop was all done, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You time in between the gathering of the crop, and he baled then, and then after the crop's gathered, well, he'd still bale some in the winter for people, you know. And he got some geese, not geese, but ducks, these Indian runner ducks. Well, I'd never seen any Indian runners. I'd seen the other kind, but he brought them home. Well, I didn't need them. And they just dip in the water where it's a drink, and they just scatter it, and they just get the water dirty, dabbling around that way, you know. And I had chickens, and I tried to keep them in clean water. And I didn't need the ducks. I didn't need their eggs. I don't like duck eggs. Tough.
Are they tough? Yeah. I never
They're
noticed
tough.
the difference.
Yeah, they're not very good. So I had him to sell them.
Yeah.
I don't know what he got out of them, but he got rid of them. He had quite a bunch of them.
Yeah, I like farming. I'd like to someday get back. I had a little farm when I lived up in Bloomington, which is
And we quit using feathers.
Uh-huh.
No, you know. Now, my mother, I seen her, I know it was the beginning of first years that we was down here in Arkansas. She got acquainted with, I think their names was Hensons, like we was talking about.
Oh, Anna Henson?
I think that was her name. She had some ducks, and she lent her ducks to my mother to pick them, and I helped her hold these ducks. She lent them to her so she could pick them to make some fillers, I think it was. And she did. She made herself some fillers.
So you were pretty self-sufficient. You knew how to take care of yourselves, huh? You know how to take care of your food and everything.
We had our turnips. My husband and I myself, we raised all kinds of potatoes. We raised sweet potatoes. Do you eat it, sweet potatoes?
I love sweet potatoes.
I do too.
Yeah.
We haven't had good sweet potatoes this last year, though. The potatoes wasn't good.
The ones you grew? Did you grow them?
Well, we bought these, and you could eat them, but they wasn't natural like a potato ought to be, you know. They just always stayed kind of fresh-like and never did get cured up like they ought to be. They was sweet, but they was a little bit stringy and had little places, black places in them, and them places would rot like, you know. You'd have to cut them out.
Yeah.
They wasn't so good, but then there was sweet potatoes.
Mhm.
Now can I go?
Yeah, you can go. I don't know why we're not
Said.
finished.
She don't have anything else to say.
Yeah, she just says, that's it, I'm done.
I'm done. Can't tell you anymore.
Yeah.
Well, okay, since you put me in a compromising situation, I guess my best memory of Karen and David dates back to about 1957. I think that was a summer that I spent on the farm, the country farm that we just went to.
Mhm.
I spent that summer on the farm with them. And all three of us got along pretty good. David and I, we used to gang up on Karen.
Yeah,
as
she told me
boys
that.
probably
She
do,
did.
you know. we used to gang up on her, and she could pretty well take care of herself. Although sometimes when both of us would gang up on her at the same time, it'd get on her nerves. She'd usually run us off. But that was an enjoyable summer.
You had a good time teasing her, huh?
Oh yes, had a good time teasing her and aggravating her. And David and I, we used to run around down there on the farm a lot, hunt. We used to hunt, and there was a ditch out back, just beyond the woods, and we used to go swimming in the ditch. Probably it wasn't the best place well, it wasn't a very good place really to swim, because the water really was stagnated. And but it was the only place, there's the only water around there. So we used to go swimming in that ditch. And as I think back on that, I cannot imagine how I kept from getting ear infections. It really surprises me to this very day to think back on it. Because we used to go in that water and swim, and we never did take care, like to put alcohol in your ears like you're supposed to do after you get out of water that hadn't been chlorinated or purified. I didn't get an ear infection, but David did one time, and it was a bad ear infection. And I'm sure it was from the water, because we were always going in the water, during the summer. But I never did get an ear infection from that water, and I never did. I still can't figure out why. Maybe I was just lucky.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
might have
know.
just had certain kind of antibodies in your
They could
system.
have been.
Yeah.
But no, we used to swim in the ditch. And one time I can remember, this wasn't that summer, it was later on. This was around about 63, 64, 65, right around in there. We had tomcats down there, cats always on the farm. Granny kept cats on the farm to help with the mice and the rats. And we used to play with these cats. And we got the idea one time of taking a cat down to the ditch and throwing her off the bridge into the water. Cats are good swimmers, and so it wasn't going to hurt her. I said her, it was actually a tomcat that we took down there, and we call him Old Tom Tom. We took Old Tom Tom down there, and there was a little bridge that went over the ditch. It wasn't much, just a wooden bridge. And we got up there on the bridge, and of course when we got up on the bridge, well, the cat got scared because of heights. And I had the cat in my arms, and when I pitched the cat over the bridge in the water, you know how they tense up, and as he left my arm, he left claw marks all the way down my arm, trying to hold on to me. Of course, I deserved it for it.
You had it coming.
Right, I had it coming. But he left claw marks all the way down my arm.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't enjoy that, but I know he didn't enjoy getting wet either.
Right,
So
you were about even.
Right, we were about even on that score. But we did hunt. We hunted rabbits, and we were fairly successful. we used to bring in, 2 or 3 rabbits when we would go out. And at that time, we prior to, when I fell out of the tree, we used to climb quite a few trees down there. We had tree houses up in the trees, and I remember Granddad, he would get mad if he would find any tree houses, he would tear them up. He said, I don't want you climbing any trees and building tree houses. So these were very simple tree houses, not boards in a sense, but what we would do, we would get like limbs about that big around, just big enough to support you. We get a couple of small trees like that and cut them, that were about that big, and run them crossways of some big limbs and kind of tie them with twine. And you couldn't hardly even, unless you really looked up in the tree, it was hard to even tell if there was anything up there because it just looked like a couple of limbs up there. But that was what we called a tree house. We'd climb up there sometimes, and just kind of lay out on those limbs. And David had his tree house, or tree houses, and I had mine too. We kind of built different tree houses down there in the woods. And I used to love to climb trees. I always climbed trees, and after I fell out of that one I think it was 1960, I think. After I fell out of that tree, I didn't climb too many more after that.
No, I guess you.
That laid me up for quite a while, and
by the time you got back to it, you're probably too old for climbing trees, eh?
Well, if you're, as the old saying goes, how does it go when you get bit by something like that? When something happens to you, well, you kind of think twice about it.
Yeah.
So I kind of stopped. I stopped climbing trees after that. I never did climb too many. By that time, anyway, I was in high school, and after that, I started planting trees. I guess if I can't climb them, I'll plant them. So I would get these little saplings. They were about that big. In fact, I could have showed you one down there, right on down from the barn down there. I planted it. It wasn't any more than about 2 or 3 months old. It had just come up that spring. And what I would do, these little saplings, they wasn't over about 3 or 4 inches high. They'd just come up. I'd get a shovel and dig around them, and let the whole tree up out of the soil, with the soil around it. And I'd take it down to the country down there and plant it. And there's 3 or 4 down there that I planted. I planted them in about 61 or 62. So I put them, about
25 years ago.
Yeah, 23, 24 years old. And right now, they're probably 20 feet high.
Yeah.
I'll probably be dead and gone before they're really, a big tree, big in the sense of an oak tree. But they're oak trees, white oaks.
Yeah.
And
oak trees grow slowly.
Yeah, most of your oaks do fairly slow. But no, I enjoyed planting those trees and working with them. So yeah, I didn't think about it. I would have showed you a couple of my trees.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Well, I'll come back next time. I'll come back and we'll go out there and look at your
They're
trees.
almost big enough to climb, and it's only been about 25 years.
I'll bring my son back.
What's that doing? Is she in there fighting the dishes?
Yeah, she's in there.
Yeah, she's in there with the dishes.
She needs to be getting ready. There we go. So I put Mike's in the bathroom.
Well, I don't know whether I can get Granny. I don't know whether I can get Granny on film again. She's about had it.
Yeah, I know. I think she has.
The last time I videotaped her, she said, "Can I go now?"
Can I go now? I'm about like her.
So tell me that story again about the mules. I like that story.
You do? Well, is it loud enough to hear it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you one about the Woods Together corn too, huh? About that one. I came, what to do, come on leave from, no, I was on vacation.
Okay, I don't remember
I,
that.
well, I used to get 3 months off, the service, so I'd come home and help Granddad with it.
Had 3 months, when Mike was born.
Yeah, and
Mike was born here in Jonesboro.
he wanted
We
me
were in
to,
California.
go with him to gather corn. And he got the mules and the wagon, and we got all set up. We were drove on over the field, and we had a down row. Before the wagon went over the down row, see, had 2 rows on each side, and had the down row, and over the wagon straddling over, went over. He would take the 2 rows on the left and the down row, and I'd take 2 on the right, and try to keep up with him. But I couldn't do it. And I'd get away behind, I'd get 12, 15 feet behind Granddad, and he keeps saying, get up. And I'd say, whoa. He keeps saying, he's talking to them mules. Every once in a while he'd say, get up. And I'd say, whoa. And he said, son, he said, can't you keep up on them 2 rows? I said, no, Granddad, I can't keep up on these 2 rows. He said, well, I'm taking 3, you're just taking 2. But
Still couldn't keep up.
I couldn't do it, and I was gathering that corn just as, I'd grab that corn off that stalk just as fast as I could, and throw it in the wagon, try to keep up with him, growing. I couldn't do it. I give up. But he was fast. Oh man, he knew where to get hold of the ear. If you get a hold of an ear of corn that's right, it'll just break right off. It'll end it up. Got a little, little thin part of it. And you get that,
neck, I guess.
Yeah, get that right and just flick it, and it'll just jump right off in your hand. But I couldn't never reach and get that ear of corn just right, you know. I'd have to get up and get it in my hand like that, and that's where I take up my time. But hey, I'll never forget that.
Boy, he sounds like a real worker.
Shoot, you better believe he was. He and Uncle Earl was putting a bridge across that. You didn't see that big ditch from one farm to the other over there behind the house?
Yeah, right.
That ditch, I guess, is about 30 feet wide. And he and Uncle Earl was building a bridge. They was putting down huge posts. Oh, Lord, they was that large in diameter. And then they were going to put some big oak, well, what do you call them? It's kind of like a tie.
Beams, I guess.
Yeah, big
Ties
beams
or
on it.
beams, yeah.
Well, they was pulling him with mules.
Mhm.
You had to, Granddad had his mules over there, and you had to put a chain around that. Well, it was 15, 20 foot long, and he was pulling him down that ditch, you know, with that mule, and then he was going to hoist him up on the post. Well, he couldn't do that. He had to go to the house for something. And while he was going to the house, Uncle Earl got that old mule, and he hooked him to that big log. Well, Granddad didn't want to do that because Granddad afraid he'd cripple the mule, he never hurt him. So Granddad, he went to the house to do something, get something, and anyhow, while he was gone, Uncle Earl, he got that mule, he hooked him to that, whatever it was, and he drug across that ditch. And when Granddad came back, Earl had that drug over there, and Granddad said, Earl, you're going to kill my mule. What'd you do that for? And it was the ditch, and where that mule had to go, and it was real soft. He'd go up to his belly, you know, in mud. And Granddad didn't want to put that mule in there because he bogged down, and pulling that big old tie was afraid he'd hurt the mule. And Uncle Earl, while Granddad was on the house, Uncle Earl, he hooked that old mule to that. Uncle Earl told me about it, what he did. Granddad didn't tell me what Uncle Earl did. And Uncle Earl said, I thought Clark was going to kill me when he come back. Boy, he was hot.
Oh, wow.
Boy, he was really hot.
Yeah.
Uncle Earl had a lot of fun out of him, though. He was one more character.
My dad was sort of serious like in a way, sort of.
Oh yeah, he was serious about everything.
Yeah.
He was serious about everything.
Wow.
He was serious about everything.
He was serious about when the bells should be rung too, huh?
You ain't kidding. He wanted that, he didn't want it rung before 12 o'clock, because he knew what was going to happen if that bell rang before 12 o'clock. Because he was going to have to come to the house, whether he wanted to or not. He'd holler at them old mules, but they couldn't pay him no mind. They turned a deaf ear to him, they just keep going.
No, it's lunchtime.
He knew what it was. He was there, they knew what that meant when Granny rang that old bell. Yes, sir.
Lickety split right across the fields, huh?
And they wasn't going out to the end. They just started right across the field, right toward that bridge. Cause the roads run up and down, and that bridge was about in the middle of the field. I mean, in the middle of the farm there. And whenever that bell rang, fed down to the other end of the field, boy, they'd take right off that bridge, right on up to the house, dragging Granddad feet and pick them. He had to pick them plows up and put up on the cultivator. Did he plow up that cottonwood went across the field?
It must have done some damage anyway, you know.
It did.
If you're going across the field, going across
But
the roads like
they'd
that.
go whether Granddad wanted them to or not. They would go anyhow.
They were geeing and hawing and
Yeah.
blowing and get up and enough. They
Yeah.
had enough of that stuff. So Loretta, you told me you were going to tell me what you were doing in France.
Oh, well, I lived with her for 2 years.
Yeah.
I went because he was over there, so Francis was over there. And,
That was a lot of experience.
yes, it was.
For her.
Mike was 12 years old, and Steve was just 2. And Frankie had to go to France. That was his second time over there in 2 years, I think, wasn't it, or something like
Yeah.
that? I know he picked up the telephone one time, and he said that was Chappie calling. He says they're fixing to send me to France again. And he had already been on that post once at Camp Busac. What's the name of the post there? Was it?
That was Busac.
Oh, Busac.
Busac.
It was Busac.
Yeah. Bordeaux.
We lived in a little town called Bly there after we got over there. Well, we couldn't go with him as he went. And he helped get everything arranged. He helped pack everything for us, stacked everything in the living room and all. We couldn't take, you see, and stored the rest of it. And he left, and he's gone 3 weeks, and Mike, Steve, and I left Fort Smith, flew to Memphis, and then off to New York. And we stayed there overnight. And they huddled us off on the plane then the next day. They took us to a bus first, tried to get on a bus to go to the plane. They said, that's just like driving a herd of pigs to some place or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just herding everybody onto this bus, you know, to the plane. And so we landed over in France, over in Paris. And, I don't know what airport it was. It was that big airport over there, though. We had to go through customs. Well, Steve was just 2 years old, and I didn't have a halter on him. I didn't want to put they said put a halter on these little ones, you know, when you have to go places, you know, to keep up with these little ones. And I couldn't, I didn't want to do that. So Mike was pretty handy, so he kept me along with him, Steve. But that was one time that Steve wouldn't hardly leave my arms for me to take care of the custom regulations.
He wanted to hang on.
He wanted to hang on. You see, he had already lost his dad, he thought, I guess. And I guess he was afraid of losing me.
Yeah, keep an eye on you.
He was going to keep an eye on me. And he just walled and he just started tuning up just right good. I really felt embarrassed. And then we had to get on a train and go from Paris down to Busac, the camp where he was going to meet us. And we was on that for 8 hours on that old slow train taking us down, that French train. And and I couldn't understand one word they said. And there was another there was a black person on there, and she knew a little bit of French, and she could kind of understand. Well, everybody in that car got along fairly well with this woman that knew the language pretty well, knew what was being said. So that's about all there was to it. We was about 8 hours getting down to Busac. And there was Frankie ready to meet us, you know, when we come in. And we had a little apartment rented, a house rather, an apartment. It was an apartment or was it a house?
No,
It was a house, I believe it was.
Yeah,
And it was right on the bay. And
right on the ocean.
Yep, and then you could just stand at the window and watch those big ships moving along on the water, you know. It started in stream, but oh my lands, I felt homesick.
Oh yeah.
You know, about mine, and I can't believe it. Just within a course of 24 hours, here I am way over here, and didn't know anybody but my.
Yeah. And you stayed there for 2 years. Did you ever get over being homesick?
No, not even. Well, yeah, I did. And I got over being homesick pretty shortly. I don't know. The conditions over there is a lot different than what they are in the States. People lived kind of overhead the grocery stores and things like that. You know, they were, I believe, about 50 years or 100 years behind us. I don't know. It was
a simpler way of life.
Very simple. And they'd throw the dishwater out the window there, out on the street, and then through the stores, you know, down below. And that's the little town we lived in.
Oh wow. Huh.
And so we moved, and then we moved into an apartment, another place pretty soon after that. And there I met a former American, and she was a nurse, had been, and her husband was stationed out there, see.
He was cook.
Yeah.
Out the hospital, attachment.
And so I got acquainted with her. And she didn't leave till we left. We were there 2 years, and they just like 2 years finishing out their tour duty. And Frankie didn't have to stay but just 2 years because it was about time for him to go back to re-enlist again, and he didn't want to re-enlist out there. He was supposed to stay over there 3 years, see. And so his time of duty was time to re-enlist was about over with, and they sent him back to the States. And to re-enlist, and he didn't re-enlist, and he had 20 years in, see. And well, that's about all, I guess.
That's about all. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
David did, especially David and myself, when we were growing up. Oh, and see, right now we're on. Anyway, those two get to going, you know, and he'll rib her, and then she'll say something to him, and pretty soon it's just yakky yak, fuss, and I'll tell them both to shut up. I'm sick and tired of listening to it.
Yeah.
I tell you, leave her alone. I'll tell her to get out of the way. Don't say anything to him. I mean, you know, this is just 2 kids. Oh, anyway.
So Tim, tell me about that rib thing out in your driveway there. Where did you get that, and what are your plans for it?
Oh, God, don't ask me that. I don't know.
Hey.
Just hope eventually I can get it to look like a vehicle.
Are you going to sell it?
No, I ain't gonna sell it.
No.
This,
That's my pride and joy.
this is a classic. This is an antique. You have to understand.
It's 66, right?
Yes.
He's going to look at it. He bought it to look at. You know. And we've got so much money, we can really afford that, can't we, dear? Anyway.
He's starting in on me again.
I'm gonna
Fight,
put that
fight,
little red
fight,
light over
fight,
there.
fight.
That little red light.
Yeah, what kind of little red light?
Well, we're on TV.
Right there.
You look at yourself later on. You know? I'll tell you one thing. You know, I'll tell you something.
Here we go. We got her cracking up over there. Now, so since she becomes quiet.
Hey, go ahead and laugh now. It's too late. You cracked up and cat's out of the bag. You might as well go ahead.
And, or I'm through.
Yeah, through. Put the camera on you.
I didn't know I didn't realize I was being camera. I was going to say anyway that I'm sure that if we ever saw ourselves on tape when we're really having a fight, I mean a real fight.
It might cure you, huh?
Yeah, definitely. It would, wouldn't it?
I don't know, will it?
Yeah, I'm sure it would. It's extremely embarrassing. We'd see just how ugly we really act.
Well, everybody needs to do that. Everybody needs to have the Candid camera. Take a movie of them when they're fighting, and everybody looks.
Yeah.
Because everybody else thinks everybody else that's fighting was awful silly looking.
And you say, gosh, now do I really look that terrible, that mean, that, you know, it would be something to see.
Yeah.
Probably, Tim says, though, everybody fights. I said, no, I don't think everybody does, you know. We do have our disagreements. We have a good
Everybody's
time.
gonna have disagreements
Okay.
In a bag, you should get him in a sack. She can't get him in a sack much anymore. Take that sack, twirl him around, and the little cat comes out. He's like he's drunk or something. He's staggering. But when he was a little kid, now you don't have to hide the rest. But I'm busy talking. When he was a little kid, and you know, when he wasn't too little, he was probably about 6 months old. And we put the sack down on the floor, and he'd been a cat, he's Snoopy. So he'd walk into that sack. Lisa picked that sack up, twirl it around, ran around, put it down. He'd stagger out. Then pretty soon he'd walk right back in the bag again. She'd pick it up, turn around,
Yeah, he
again.
enjoyed that.
And we had more fun with him. He's
No wonder he's mean.
that's what David said. He said, well, if I was a cat and you did me that way, he said I'd be mean too. So I guess she's gone in there to get our baby. Our baby.
Here
Oh, there's
comes
our
old
baby. Oh, it's Mama's baby. Here's Papa. Say hi to Papa. Smile, you're on Candid camera. Here, bite my wrist. Oh. Now, Morris, I've tried to bring you up better than this. Let's behave. You're on TV. On tape at any rate.
He wants to leave. He says, I was sleeping on the bed and this strange lady picked me
Yeah,
up.
they give me such a hard time. All I want to do is lay around and sleep and eat. And people are always worrying me and bothering me. Granny, you're awake. Oh.
And Morris is
I used to
gone.
really give Granny a time. Oh, used to make Granny so mad and knock her glasses off the table. And
Morris
sometimes she
is
said,
unsociable, isn't he? this
he's
afternoon?
going back to bed right now.
Yeah.
He's got to get his nap in. His all-day nap and his all-night nap.
Yeah, I'd be laying in here on the couch and he'd come to the door and run out. Or he'd be out of the door and run in.
Yeah, bothering you all the time, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I don't know, what I can't remember what you did say about him, but, you know, get on out here, Morris. Get away from me. Leave me alone. Shoo him away like she used to do the cats on the farm, you know. Keep them out of the way.
Oh, Morris would come get on that couch, and time he's up there wasn't much room for me.
No, he can't lay up there and behave himself, you know. He's got to get up there and clean and lick and clean and lick. Oh, yeah, and then get him in there on the bed. You know, he gets in there with us lots of times in the evening. And he'll start kneading and kneading and kneading. 15 minutes he's kneading that bed, that one particular spot. You know, finally get tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
Tell him to find him another spot. He's a peculiar animal. He's lots of company.
So did you have a nice nap there?
Yeah, I think I did. I think I feel better.
We were trying to think whether we should try to get you in the bed and lay you down.
Our little folks for you just started.
We were making a lot of noise talking and all, and you were just sleeping away. I think partly because you can't hear too well, you know. Wasn't waking her up.
Possibly, yeah. You're probably good and tired, huh?
But you know, I'm
Yeah.
asleep watching television. Yeah, no, you showed me that, Aunt Loretta.
I do that.
Probably is.
Go to sleep watching
Yeah.
television. You
Yeah.
sit there and be pretending like to watch something. The first thing you know, I've missed it.
Yeah, and that's aggravating.
Yeah, you know.
Well, that's
So
one thing
late.
I don't do.
Well, yeah, you wait till you get old like me and you will.
I feel like I'm there. Well, it's all talk at once.
What you got to say for yourself?
Not much.
Karen, you're good at asking questions. Think up something.
I'm usually better off when, well, when I'm not asking questions, when Edith is doing the talking.
Yeah, we're gonna get any more talking out of you, Granny, today? I wish I could think of. How about the time?
She looks like Aunt Laura right now.
What's your favorite story?
Well, I can think of one.
What?
Bad Granny, she's gonna wring my neck when I tell it. Well, several, in fact. Okay, one time we lived in the apartment up the street, and I think I had a dentist appointment that day. But at any rate, she was cooking something on the stove, and we had gone into the bedroom for some reason, and it was in the spring, I guess. Had the windows open. She said, "Boy," said, "you really smell that pollution." She said, "Just smell it. It smells awful." And I said, "Well, I don't know, Granny." And she kept on, "You know, this is just really bad." And I thought, started smelling, sniffing around, and started following my nose. Went through the living room into the kitchen, and she's burning whatever was in the pot up. And she thought it was pollution outside.
Pollution, eh?
Yes. And I was laughing. It was pollution. It was pollution, all right, wasn't it?
Inside pollution.
And then I could tell this one. I've got to tell this one. So, anyway, one time, one evening, she went to bed. It was around 6 o'clock in the evening, 6 or 7 in the evening. So it had to have been summertime. It was probably 6 in the evening. So about an hour later, she came in here. She was fully dressed and all that, and Lisa and I were sitting in here. She says, "Well, aren't you going to work, Karen?" And Lisa, "Don't you have to go to school?" And I said, "Granny, what are you talking about?" She said, "Well, it's morning, isn't it?" I said, "No, it's only 7 o'clock in the evening." She said, "Well, I slept so good," she said, "I felt like I slept all night." So anyway, she says, "Well, I guess I'll have to go back to bed then after a while." And she did that several times. Hey, Granny, you did.
I told her that about the time that I had that nightmare, you know, and you said I was groaning, and you said, "Oh, I feel so sorry for that poor dog." You happened to think, well, it's me having a nightmare.
Oh, no.
It was in the daytime, too, wasn't it? Down in the evening.
No, I don't think so, honey. I remember it.
Karen felt so sorry for that poor dog.
I heard the awfulest. When Granny has nightmares, well, my mother was the same way. I don't want to imitate the noise right now, but it was like, ooh, ooh, on, and you get higher pitched all the time, you know. And it's dark, and you're getting literally, you know, it's blood curdling. Really, it's blood curdling. And I thought it was a dog or something that was hurt. Just that's the way it sounded that particular time.
That poor dog, she thought he was hurting real bad.
So I finally went in there, you know, and shook her and woke her up. She really had to shake her hard. But she was having a terrific nightmare.
I've heard her.
I
Yeah,
did.
it raised
Really, you know, to be honest,
Downstairs
sounds like
having that
somebody
hair.
dying.
Oh, wow.
It does. I mean,
It really will curdle your blood if you don't know
Here,
what, you know,
it'll
what
raise
it
the
is.
goosebumps on your arm. Even when you realize what it is, it still scares you.
Yeah, it does.
It's really, and Mama had the same way of doing when she had her nightmares. She made exactly the same noise as Granny. I don't do it.
That's what you call a real nightmare now.
Yeah, I know it. Now I have this thing though. When I have my bad dreams, always spiders are falling on me. I'm paranoid about
Yeah,
spiders.
she's paranoid about spiders.
I'm literally
She
terrified.
see a
of
little
them.
spider and she just goes beside
Honey,
herself.
I see.
I
a
bet
big
you
spider.
and David tormented her with that, huh?
I don't know.
No,
did
no.
We never did talk. That
They
was too serious to
They
torment
didn't
her.
dare. I would have killed them.
I mean, you know, we realized there was a certain line beyond which you don't depart.
If you want,
Spiders was one of
if you
them.
want to live and tell about it, you know. Now that's true.
I mean, as far as, you know, putting a spider in her bed or something, no. That was too serious. I mean, that would, you know, push her over the edge.
Probably would have, yeah, because, you know, I'll wake up now. Well, one night I told him, I said, "What'd you put that spider in my bed for? What'd you put that spider in the bed?" He said, "Here, Karen," he said, "don't worry about it, honey." He said, "I'll get the spider out of the bed." And I, you know, finally, it was the next morning. I realized that there had not been a spider in the bed. He didn't put it in. But he does that to calm me down. He says, "Don't worry about it, honey. I'll get it out like that," you know.
in there.
I'm that way by snakes. I know you are. And I can't stand snakes. I'll tell you, I've had nightmares about snakes under my pillow.
You like you're laying on
They're better snakes
Yes,
or
I
something
know.
like
You
that.
told me that.
That just scares the life out of me.
And when you see them, do they go all through you?
Well,
Does it-
no, oh, no, not necessarily.
Like
but,
a spider does me? I
I
can't
know.
stand to even look
I
at
can
it.
look at them, I look at my hand and all I can think about that old cold looking skinny something like that skin, you know. I guess that's the way it feels, you know.
I think I'll get her a
See, with
pet
me,
snake
Don't
next
you
year
do
for
such a thing as
Christmas.
that.
One of these
You
pet
know.
boa constrictors.
Right.
Oh, you know what Arlen did one time, Lisa's father?
I don't know about that.
I walked into the living room, and he had taken a very thin white thread and suspended a big rubber tarantula from it. I walked in, and here's this thing just a dangling, and I mean, that scared me. I threw the thing away. I told him I didn't want it in the house. I mean, I know they're not real, but they're so real to me.
I don't want them to even look at those things.
No,
Things
you know.
that I'm scared of.
So when you talk about being paranoid about something like that, yeah, I am. And Aunt Loretta, you know, is about snakes.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I'm that way. But they're so sneaky. Spiders, you know, they can just jump on you from anywhere. You don't know they're there. There was one outside the door not long.
That's part of her paranoia, isn't it?
There was one outside the door that had made its darn bed in a web right behind that door, and all I had to do was look out my kitchen sink and see. So I gave him a hard time until he got rid of that
I
one.
had a hard time getting that spider.
But that-
It'd go up inside the wood.
I know
the
it,
big
but
spider.
that
You
wasn't
get
the
'em out.
worst one. That wasn't the worst one. It was
Like never.
it was back in the autumn. You had gone to work, and Lisa was still here. And I opened the curtains. It was a beautiful day. I opened the curtain in the bedroom, and here right in front of me is this great, big, huge. I think it's a garden spider. I think because it had the yellow stripes on it. I said, "Oh my God!" I went in there and said, "Lisa, oh Lisa, you've got to come here and look." I said, "This is just awful." Here he is. He's dangling. You know, well, there's no way you can get him. I mean, I closed that window real fast. You know, we've got storm windows in the screen too. So then I went outside and I took some spray that's supposed to, you know, a shot of poison supposed to get to him. Well, it wouldn't reach because see, those windows are high up off the ground out there. You know, about every 15, 20 minutes, I'd go in that bedroom, look out that window there. That darn thing still be hanging there. I mean, it hung there all day long, and I watched it all day long. I felt like if it got away, I couldn't sleep because I'd worry about being in the house. And Tim says he thinks it's when he cut some branches off that tree out there, it got on the roof, you know, fell onto the roof,
Cut
and then
the tree limbs off, and that's where it came.
so then when he came home, he got the water hose, and the whole town was saying, "Kill it, kill it, kill it. You gotta kill it." You know, I mean, I get really excited about it because, I mean,
He's real jumpy too.
nervous. So anyway, he did. He killed it. And that's bad.
Granny was looking
He
at the
wasn't able to
windows.
put any hot water on it or anything.
And
Oh,
he couldn't reach
hot
hot
water.
water. He was so high
I
up.
think
see,
hot
those-
water is,
Well,
you
hot
know,
water will
hot
boil.
water's not worth a dime.
Boil-
I've seen down the country throw hot water on stuff trying to kill
Well,
it.
boiling water will kill them.
Ineffective, or it's not very
But-
effective. They throw it on it, it wouldn't work, and they go get another pan of hot water and throw it on it.
But the thing is, see, this spider was so high up in there, you had to actually shoot a stream
Yeah, well,
of
of course,
water.
it's been too high.
And Tim
Hot
did
water's
that.
not that effective. If you want to get it, like you said, you can get it more effective with a spray or a mash.
Now, let me tell you something, young man. I've got some wasps pouring the hot water on it here last year.
Well,
I got there-
I'm glad you
And I
do
said,
that, but I wouldn't do it.
I sure did, and I didn't get stung by it, did I, Mom? You remember those wasps down in that place there where the green peppers were, you know? And that concrete thing, you know, all that bed of wasps there.
Bugs.
Yeah, well, it was wasps.
I bet it was bugs. If it been
No,
wasps,
it's
they'd
an
stung
old
to
red,
death.
it's an old red wasp, but it was. Don't you remember that bed of
I'll
wasps?
tell you, there was so many of them back in that can there that
That's what I'm talking about, back there in that little, concrete thing, Mom, what was down there?
Talking about
Yeah.
the cellar?
No, not the cellar, I'm talking out there where the green pepper was, that's in the garden.
Okay,
Okay.
down those concrete blocks with
Uh-huh.
the holes in the...
Yeah, with the holes in the
Holes in
concrete
the
blocks.
blocks?
Uh-huh. And I poured a boiling hot pan of water down there. By the way, it got them, didn't have any more. That's the
truth.
Now,
There was no-
boiling water, if it's
Boiling,
boiling, it
yeah,
will kill
if it's
them.
really
It's
boiling,
got to
it-
be
it-
boiling.
It can't just be hot like that. It got to be
I've
I've
boiling.
seen
killed
them
big
throw
spiders
boil-
with boiling water.
I've
When
seen
there's
them
no
throw
one around,
boiling
I'll
water
kill 'em.
on spiders and 2 or 3 times.
Well,
and
by
not
the
get-
way,
Aunt Loretta poured
You
boiling
can't knock 'em
water.
off the wheels like that.
No,
It
but
got
now,
'em,
but
I would
now
never
listen.
bother with them anymore, and I know very well they was had several of them in there. You
Well, you
remember
let
that?
me know whenever you get ready to get rid of wasp nest with boiling water, because if I'm anywhere near, I don't want to be around it.
Well,
just,
they didn't get me.
just let me know
And
so
it
I
was-
have time
there
to
was that-
evacuate the premises.
Well, I tell you
Well, that's
now,
what it was.
I
Now,
know
what?
I've killed spiders, big ones, because one time on the farm, of course, we had them for everybody to listen to. We had an outhouse, you know. Last time I ever went in there too, and there against the wall was this, and I'm not exaggerating, huge.
Yeah, she never used the outhouse because she.
Well, they had spiders in them all the time. So
She was
here-
horrified of the
Listen,
spiders, so she
this-
never used it.
I want you to listen. This spider was as big as my
Leave
hand.
that to your imagination, you know, what she did use or where she did go, but it wasn't the outhouse. Hey, it was kind of hairy,
I
really,
am-
because you walked, you know, you went in the outhouse, and it was dark in there, and I mean, there was, I mean,
If I
you just see spiders hanging up in the corner.
If I had to do over again, I would never have gone in there one time. But this particular time, this spider was as big, like, pretend I got fingers all the way around. You could see his eyes. They were like mice eyes. So, I mean, you know, I looked at that thing and yeah, really, seriously.
Maybe it was a bat.
No, it was a spider. Even made noises. You know, like,
Maybe it was a possum.
you know, spiders do make noises, high-pitched noises, and this thing
I
made
bet
noises.
that's what it was.
I ran in the house, Aunt Loretta came out with boiling hot water. I remember that, and she killed it. Now, she did. And I never, ever, like Mike said, leave it to your imagination. I never, ever went in there again. And I don't know. They love outhouses. I'm not going to go into why. I think I know why. Oh, Granny used to do all my killing, though, of spiders.
Yeah, she was the one that started that hot
Bless
water.
her heart. Well, it worked, Mike. It did. You know,
I'd rather get a
spiders,
stick and mash
spiders
them.
are fast, though, honey. And
Oh.
I
I
tell
say
you,
you want I want Rich to try to get hold of, not me.
You don't have to get a hold of them, you can get a board and mash them.
if you can hit them right.
Oh, yeah.
But you know, you have a better chance.
What do you do when you
Baptists don't believe
see
that,
these
but it's the truth
spiders,
of the matter.
maybe a big old spider?
What I do, I normally don't bother them.
Huh?
I normally don't bother them.
Well,
I don't mind
Oh.
spiders that much. You
Mind.
just leave them
Oh.
alone.
well, you're not frightened of them, honey. You don't mind if they're going around, walking around.
There's not too many poisonous spiders
Flying in your
anyway.
bed.
The only spiders I'm really scared of are black widows, and even more than that, and you've probably heard them, are these brown recluse. You
Yeah.
ever heard of a brown recluse?
I don't know about around there.
They're common around here. I don't know whether they're common up, you know, around your edge of the country or not, but around here they're common, and they're very poisonous, very venomous
And your
spider.
skin rots where they.
Yeah,
bite
where
you.
they bite you, I understand, you know, at the time they bite you, you might not even know it. I've talked to a couple people that have been bitten, and they wasn't even sure actually what bit them, for sure. But the skin around the bite, like 2 or 3 days or a week later, it starts to, it actually just starts rotting and
uh-huh.
dropping off. And it
Yeah.
seems like it's kind of like a growth, like it'll kind of start radiating out from the center of the bite,
Mhm.
and it just kind of spreads out, and it's just like, it actually, your skin just rots and falls
Well,
off.
sometimes they have to
And-
amputate a limb.
It's,
too.
it can be, it's deadly. I mean, it
Now,
will
what
kill
spider
you
is that, the brown
if it's not treated.
Recluse.
And that's really the only spider that I really, I'm afraid of, and I'll watch out for them. It's because they are dangerous. They're very dangerous.
What do they
spiders.
look like, just brown? Just,
You know,
Brown and
be
black.
honest about
Well,
it,
they've got a violin on their underside. Violin shape.
I don't
I've seen them.
I don't know if I would really recognize them or not.
I've seen them
per
though.
se.
yeah.
Yeah, a friend of mine who lived in Millington at one time. They were in the house she lived in. In fact, they're pretty common up in there, in those old homes. And she was literally catching them in a fruit jar. She had a little baby at that time too. And she had them alive in that fruit jar.
Hmm.
And you think I would have gotten near them? In fact, I think I would have had to have left the house. You know, she did say she was worried about the spiders getting in the crib with the baby.
Yeah.
But she had them alive.
These spiders, normally the brown recluses, they like areas that are not inhabited. You know, in other words, they like dark.
Closet, where you don't move your clothes.
Dark areas.
The floor, and her pipes busted, and I had to go in there to fix her pipes. And I remember looking at them spiders, and they was laying right there at my forehead, as big as my hand, spread it out, and someone told me if they ever bite you, they'd kill you.
So next time you have a problem like that, you taking Karen with you, how to hold the light?
Sure.
I didn't know that.
I'll be gonna lick it.
I'd call a plumber.
Yeah, right.
Let him earn his money for once.
Well, they've got, that house is so old, I told Tim, you know, I'd love to see his grandmother's house, but I will not sleep in it. There is no way.
I always thought the Black Widow was the most deadliest.
Well, no, it is.
They were.
They are deadly.
Until they came up with a brown recluse.
So they invented it?
Yeah, they got it.
I don't know whether it was or not. I can't remember.
What makes you mad, Granny?
What makes me mad?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what makes me mad, but when I do get mad, I guess I get pretty ugly.
Now, you know what she says? She says, I'll tell you, I can get pretty ugly wherever I get enough. She says.
Did you get ugly with Clark?
Huh?
Yes, indeed.
You ugly with Clark?
Did you get ugly with Clark?
I sure would tell him off sometimes, I sure did.
And what she said we couldn't say
I
on
didn't
that
do it
either.
all the time, but when I got to a certain point, I really let him know where he stood.
Yes, she did. He even packed his...
And your ma-in-law supported you too, right? And your mother-in-law supported you.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't do that until I'd seen I just had to, and then when I did, I just told him off real good.
He
He
quite
was
did.
small enough to cry, you know, I just call it crying, whining, you know.
One night...
She said, she done you just right.
She done you just right.
She told me about it, and it just tickled me.
So no matter what you did, she knew how Clark was too, huh?
She knew how his daddy was too, you see. Yeah. And I guess she told him one day Clark was just like him.
Oh, yeah?